Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to another edition of Track Walk in MX Simulator. Today we're going to be playing WDMX, the Sandbox motocross track by 137 on the forums, which is Kyle Watts. And good to see another track from the Watts man himself. I know he's been doing a lot of work for the Race Factor Gaming / MXS EMF track crew as of late, so when he comes out with a custom track, it's always fun to see because I know that he's really good at building tracks, and this one is no exception. This track was built for the Pulse sand track competition. Pulse, who is Mitch Brock on the forums, hosted a sand track comp. Yeah, I don't really know what else to call it. Used to be pretty common to have track competitions in MX Simulator. Everybody would get together and they'd have 4 or 5, sometimes 6, 7, 8 guys make tracks, and it would be kind of like a little competition, but like friendly competition. There's only really ever one, there's probably only ever like 2 or 3 maybe, like full-on track competitions that were like, you actually got like rewarded for building the best track. But now, I mean, they're all pretty much just for fun, and this is another little fun one. I don't think many people built a sand track. Kyle may have been one of the few, but this track is really fun. Got some amazingly good flow to it. Definitely has that sand track feel to it, where the traction kind of sticks you in pretty good, and then there's just rollers everywhere, sand rollers, outside, inside, different options to hit jumps and stuff like that. Just so many different cool features on this track that I just love too much not to have to do it for a track walk. It was calling my name. It was just saying, please do your best Jimmy Dakotas impression and just rip around this track as fast as you can. And although I'm not on a 2-stroke, because 2-stroke sounds like broken chainsaws in this game, I felt like a 450 would be pretty good for this track, because you can really rip through sand really well on a 450. And if I didn't have a double fall off right there, or maybe fall off in the first place at all, then maybe I could show you just how decently good I can ride this track. Just every time, it's the new commentator's curse, I would say, is every time I mention even kind of something good about my own riding, it immediately is greeted with just something awful and terrible looking, just to further prove the point that my MX Simulator skills are just about all the way down in the sewage, and it's just only going downhill from here. So hopefully this Moto Agogo 125 showdown thing that he wants to do happens soon, while I still have a sliver of a chance of maybe beating him, because I'm just getting progressively worse. Every time I pick up this game, I feel like I'm playing it worse. It sucks. It all started when I got a new controller, and I still don't feel like I'm used to it, and I just am still terrible. It's kind of sad, honestly. Ooh, that was a nice, I haven't popped that triple yet. That was kind of cool. But yeah, man, this track's such good flow. I've always been a pretty big fan of sand tracks in this game. Of course, the soft spot in my heart is Lommel 2012. Being able to race for Team USA on that track was incredible. But I've always done pretty well. Southwick was the race I made my quote-unquote pro MX Simulator debut at as well in 2012. So yeah, I like sand tracks, and most of the time they like me. So that's usually a pretty good combination, because then it usually makes for a half-decent video. But of course, I hit the record button, and any hope I had of making a good video is just like, well, might as well just go back to sleep and hope tomorrow's a better day. So, oh man, I'm being too negative. What I really should do is just try to lay down some absolute flyers in these corners. And what I want to actually do is sit down and rework my setup, because I made a few minute setup changes to kind of stiffen up my advanced stability, because I felt like a lot of the problems I had lately was like I would lean over too quickly into corners, and so that'd be my biggest problem. But I felt like I kind of fixed that for Washougal, and then riding these tracks now, I've I don't feel like I've quite fixed it all the way. Like I still feel like the front end kind of knifes in too quickly, so I might need to dampen up the steering force a little bit, maybe even lower it so it doesn't snap so fast. But in general, I just want to kind of rework my whole setup, maybe come out with a brand new setup video to talk about what I did, because now that I'm even worse at the game, a good setup matters more, I would say. Like I feel like I used to be able to take a bad setup and ride semi-decently with it. Now it's just like if I don't have my setup on point, you can just expect my riding to be abysmal. So yeah, I should sit down, I'll work on a new setup, maybe talk to some people I know that are better at it than I am and get some expert opinion, and maybe we'll have a new tutorial video come out, which you guys always really enjoy because you ask very often for help in this game, and sometimes I feel like I'm not of full assistance. So yeah, we'll come to an agreement on that, I should say. But yeah, let's keep riding this sand track. Let's try to throw down some funsies. I'm trying not to like whip too many things crazily, but like some of these jumps just beg for it to happen. What I like about this track is a lot of sand tracks, particularly the like professional ones in game, the Southwicks, the Lommels, the Valkenswaards, you know, the way that they're built in real life is to kind of be like you have to hammer it kind of a track. Like you have to really smash into jumps and bumps and stuff like that. And there's not too many like flowy tabletops or anything really particularly cool. It's just a really hard man's track, which I've always loved about sand tracks. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I do like that on Kyle's version of the sand track that he kind of incorporated some like non-sand track-esque obstacles and like made it even kind of fun that it's incorporated. Like there's several big hits like tabletops and stuff that you get quite a bit of air on, and you can throw whips. And then 2 corners ago, I just exited out of a semi-rhythm section. Like they are still rollers, but you can really turn them into almost like a supercross style rhythm section. Of course, he has the classic big bowl corners and rollers throughout the straightaway, ruts kind of just all the way across the track. But I feel like it's a good mix for a sand track that you don't see much of. Like I said, where he incorporated these cool features into it, and this is really fun. I didn't even think you could triple that before, and now that I have, I just don't want to stop doing it. It's the gift that's continuing to keep on giving over here. I'm trying to change up my lines a little bit too, because I haven't been doing that much, and I do not have a road on either, so just going bare bones here, riding the track as is. Because I think I felt in playing it before I started recording that it was plenty good enough as is. I didn't need to add all this extra fluff to it. Sometimes you play a track and you're like, it's a little smooth. Maybe some braking bumps into this corner would be a nice touch. But yeah, I felt like this track had a really good flow that I didn't want to disturb. I wanted to leave as is. Darn. One thing that is kind of my favorite thing about sand tracks in this game too, that probably helped me be decent at them, is you can really get away with being like over aggressive, I guess is like you can get away with just being like wide open everywhere. Like if you start swapping a little bit, if you're on a normal hard pack track and you swap in the braking bumps, it's pretty much just like let off the throttle, grab the brakes, lean all the way back, and hope you don't blow the corner or crash in many cases. In this one, you can kind of like get all sideways, back and forth, up and down, and still relatively nicely keep the bike under you and maintain your speed and not feel like you're giving up noodles of time just to be able to try to corral the bike back underneath of you. And that to me feels a little bit kind of more realistic as well, because any real motocrosser out there has had their fair share of big moments. And I mean, I'm not very fast, but I kind of know like what to do in those situations. Like if you start swapping, like when the right time to apply throttle, or, you know, pinch the bike, or, I mean, you should be pinching the bike the whole time, but you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have an idea of what you're supposed to do in those moments. And in MX Simulator, because it's a video game, a lot of those things you can kind of throw out the window because they don't work. But on a sand track, a lot of the same instincts you would have on a normal dirt bike does kind of work, where it's like, oh, you're getting a little sideways, you're getting a kick here and there. Well, lean back and kind of, you know, feather the throttle on here, maybe pin it here. And usually it kind of works. So, I don't know, just something I felt like I've realized with sand tracks and racing them through the years of how they feel and how you can react to things. Could just be me, could just be that I've gotten lucky 150 times and it's not really that way. But I don't know, kind of felt that it was the truth and not the game lying to me as it sometimes does, where it's like, oh, you're neatly in the rut, we're gonna go ahead and rail through it next minute, and left, right, down, sky, ground, sky, ambulance. But yeah, fun track, man. I love Kyle Watts' tracks. Like, I don't know, it's similar to JGMX, and talked about Atlas Zor in the last track walk, and of course Checkers and Kyle's right up there, and Motobots. Like, these guys are just, they have such good ideas brewing inside their noggin that every time a track comes out, I'm like, oh man, what have they done now to make me love this game again? Because it truly does, like, just continue to add playability to MX Simulator. That's what I really love about doing these track walk series is because, I mean, what are we? This is 159 episodes in. So basically what I'm saying is there's 159 tracks out there that I would recommend you download and play, but that are like really good tracks. Because I try not to include tracks that are like half done and stuff like that. Like, I try to include all the best tracks I can think of in this game, and I think every single one of these track walks have included tracks that like are either fun or really realistic, or just in general like a great track to have in your personal folder. I'd be curious to know how many people that are watching these videos, and maybe one of you guys who is a regular to the channel can comment. How many tracks from the track walk series you think you have downloaded, and how many you think you might still have in your personal folder? Because if I'm being 100% honest, because of the way that I have to do broadcasts and I have to download like hundreds of gigabytes often of skins and tracks and stuff like that, I tend to do like a year-end cleaning of the personal folder so that I have enough room for when Supercross starts and going through nationals and stuff like that. So I realistically don't have every track I've ever done for a track walk in my personal folder anymore. But like I said, I'd be curious to know if my purpose of these videos is to show you guys tracks that I think you should play, and I would be curious to know how many of you guys have played most of, if not all, these tracks. I don't know, just a little fun stat that I'd like to hear from y'all that are regular viewers on the channel, because you guys are my MVPs of the channel. I'm gonna finish up this lap and finish up this video. Oh, almost saved it. But again, if you guys liked it, be sure to like the video and tell your friends that I'm a garbage MX Simulator player these days, and you should definitely go to a different YouTube channel to watch somebody else play. And let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, download the track in the description below. I don't know why I forgot that. That's a crucial part. Sometimes I get people asking me in the comments, hey, where do I download the track? And I'm like, hey, it's in the description, as always. But yeah, super fun track, super awesome job, Kyle Watts. Thanks for another great track. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I'm gonna go blow up these next two sand berms as best as I can. Let's hold it first gear wide open. Oh, going off the track. Go down here. I want to try to throw a huge whip over the finish line jump. So just shift down to first and just wide open. So it sounds like you're going really fast, but really you're going nowhere. Let's get a big whipper tail off. That was weak sauce, and I crashed too. What a ridiculous end of this video. That is not how it's supposed to go. All right, there's a bigger jump in front of me. Maybe I can go throw something nice over this. Never mind. Oh, jeez. Well, I feel like I can't end it on a crash. I really have to do something actually cool to show that I do still kind of know how to play this game. Alright, backflip or big whip. We'll decide as I approach. Backflip. Not gonna get it around. Yeah, I think that's about where we'll stop it, because I think my back's broken. So again, hope you guys enjoyed. Please download the track in the description below. And my name is Kellen. From here at Starry Systems, we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.